Welcome to thewealthchannel.com. My name is Adam Batchelor. I am joined today by an expert from the Northwestern Mutual, Geoff Passehl. Geoff, how are you doing?
Well, thanks.
Very good. We're going to talk today about business continuity planning. And just to kind of get us started, tell us about sort of how you came to begin working with entrepreneurs.
So going back 13, almost 14 years, I started my practice almost exclusively working with white-collar professionals. And I, over time, began to migrate working with those white-collar professionals who were really moving toward partnership or towards some level of ownership within that community. And quickly learned that one of the reasons why I enjoyed that is I enjoyed working with the entrepreneurial mindset. It very much synchronized with my own mindset. And so getting a chance to work with folks who grabbed more control over their own destiny seemed to be far more intriguing, and I just enjoyed working in that space. So then I began to migrate a lot of my marketing and proactive prospecting efforts to working with those who truly control their own destiny by owning their own business.
So obviously, if you're an entrepreneur and you own your own business, if you want that business to keep going, you need someone or some people to play that role. So talk about this idea of business continuation planning. Just what is it?
Simply put, it's a matter of ensuring, or at least to the best of your abilities, that a business and the mission of that business will continue beyond certain events, some of which inevitable, and doing your best to be prepared for them in advance of those trigger events or those events occurring.
And what are sort of the basics? What's the product knowledge you need to know, I guess? What are the pieces of expertise you need to have to get into this type of business?
Well, initially, I think you simply need to be a strong fact finder. You need to be somebody who can dig deep, get below the surface, understand what makes that entrepreneur tick, why that business is so important to he or she, and then you need to understand how to work with other advisors, accountants, attorneys, perhaps bankers, to put together the appropriate team. Understand what each of those professionals might bring to the table so that somebody can work in a capacity, hopefully yourself, as the quarterback of such a team.
Do you find that the other professionals you're working with are willing to give up that control to assign you the quarterback? Is that something that is a challenge for you, or does that come fairly easily?
Well, at the end of the day, who's going to assign the control is going to be the entrepreneur himself or herself, right? It's that business owner who is going to ultimately select who's going to lead that team of advisors. In my experience, attorneys, accountants, they're happy to work with somebody else who's leading the planning charge, simply because for many of them, that's just not their discipline.
So if you look at the research of family-held businesses, small businesses, a lot of these succession plans, if they're in place at all, they tend to fall short. They tend to fail over time. Why is that? Sort of, first of all, why is that? And secondly, what can you do to sort of help a business owner plan for that and help avoid some of those shortfalls?
I'm going to guess that the most obvious reason is it's just simply a blind spot. Right, the owner is, or the owners are doing what they're great at. They're driving that business forward. And slowing down to recognize the need for continuation or succession planning just isn't high on the priority list. Take it a step further, if it's a family business, you've got all the family dynamics at play. So now it's just not a business decision. There's a lot of emotional decisions. So if it's parent-child, there are a lot of issues around, well, I'll take care of dad or mom will take care of me. If it's siblings, much the same, right? There's lots of emotion that goes into that succession strategy that oftentimes is just ignored.
So are you helping them sort of bring a more professional mindset to the process, I suppose?
Well, I would hope I can bring a professional mindset, but I think more importantly, it's just the objective,
right, independent
mindset.
Geoff, you talk a lot about a lot of the onus being on the business owner to recognize bench strength and to identify individuals and to sort of emotionally prepare themselves to get to a place of succession planning. Where does your business come in? So where are you making your money off of these business succession plans?
A lot of it's going to depend on how we decided to work with one another up front. I've been fortunate to be invited into a group of advisors within the Northwestern Mutual framework, wherein we were tapped on the shoulder, and then it was requested upon us that we go through some additional training and credentializing. But then we were bestowed the opportunity to work with folks on a fee basis. So oftentimes, our clients will engage my services much the same way they would any other consultant or other advisors, like an accountant or an attorney, where they will pay for the intellectual property, they will pay for the deliverable of a plan, and that's the way they'll initially engage us. They might then retain our services for the implementation of the program on the back end as well.
So talk about that implementation. I mean, I suppose you mean you're talking about then the business transfer and things like buy-sell agreements and maybe even key man insurance. Talk about that.
Sure. So the implementation side of the planning is to then put forth the right products that satisfy the plan. So that can be buying life insurance for purposes of buy-sell planning. It could be buying life insurance for purposes of key person planning. Disability insurance for both buyout and key person. So there's plenty of opportunity for products to be implemented and for an advisor to generate revenue from that resource as well.
Thank you very much, Geoff. And I think that you're showing our viewers that this really is potentially a great avenue for their business and a great way to get into the entrepreneur market. So thank you for your expertise. And thank you so much for joining us on thewealthchannel.com. Stay tuned for more from Geoff and experts just like him for advisors just like you.